Hello and welcome to Jammin Jukebox radio show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and so glad to be here with you on a Tuesday night. I hope that your day was absolutely wonderful and gorgeous like mine was. We had sunny skies and about 85 degrees. And I think spring has finally arrived, and I could not be happier because that means that beach season is just right around the corner. At least my vacation is coming up in a couple months. I cannot hardly wait. But anyway, it was a great day, and we're real excited to be here tonight because our guest, he is an R&B soul artist, and let me tell you, folks, I have his music. I've listened to his music, love his music. It is great. You're in for a real treat. And I would like to introduce you to Norm Adams. Hello, now, Norm.
Delta Dawn, what's that song that you have on? How you doing?
Well, I'm great. I've never had anyone sing as they are introduced. I love that, and of course the fact that you can sing and you sang that song so well, I'm honored. I'm honored.
Well, it was my pleasure.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. We've really been looking forward to this. I know it's been a little bit, trying to get our schedules coordinated to where we can get you on, but I'm so happy that it finally worked out for both of us, and here you are. So welcome.
So am I, absolutely. It's a beautiful spring evening, and I get to be on the air with you talking about my favorite thing in the world, my music, and, doesn't get much better than this, so thank you for having me.
That's so very true. Well, you're so welcome. And I want to kind of kick things off tonight by asking you, how you got started in the business. And, was it something that you kind of were born with in terms of you just, when you were young wanted to do this, or did it kind of evolve with time?
Well, I've always been, in and around music. I started singing when I was about 5 years old. My grandmother kind of, pushed me out front there, in the church when she realized that, that I could carry a tune. And from there, it just kind of evolved. It's just the natural, love of it. Just being as part of my family. Two of my aunts back in the day sang backup for Aretha Franklin, so I've always been kind of, in and around it. And then when I realized that it was something that I wanted to, to do as a profession, it was just kind of, full steam ahead.
Oh, that's great. I mean, it sounds like there was even if you hadn't wanted to go into music, it just sounds like music was just there knocking at your door all the time, being that you're around it so much.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of was because, you just kind of know when you recognize your gift, and and I truly believe that it is a gift, and and you're supposed to to use your gifts to their fullest extent, I believe, So absolutely, I definitely think it was, just something. It was what I was put on this earth to do.
Well, and I'm glad that you realized that because after hearing your music, I can tell you, I think you were put on this earth to do that as well. So it's great stuff. Now, how old were you? Do you remember how old you were when you performed in front of an audience for the first time? Not, now if you were much older, but I mean, did you do any performing as a child, as a teenager possibly?
Yes, actually, yes. Because as I said earlier, from the time I was about 5, singing in church, and that really just kind of, that actually laid the foundation because as I got older, I began doing, a lot more of that, and it evolved from, from just, church services to different political functions, around town. And so that really kind of gave me, my first, taste of it. And then, of course, you got to, finish school and all of that. And I was fortunate in, being able to, to go to college and then, and on the like. But all while I was doing that, music was always still there. So I was, taking the time and, developing not only my vocal skills, but my songwriting as well. So everything just kind of all came together, kind of organically, I think.
Well, one thing I've always heard is that if you can get up in front of church and sing in front of your peers, your family, all these people that know you probably better than anybody else. You can get up in front of anybody and do anything. I've always been a big believer in that, and because it's not like it's not like getting up in front of people you don't know or you possibly may never see again. But my gosh,
right.
Your family can sometimes be your biggest ally and your worst critic at the same time. So you can overcome that, man. You've got the battle won right there, and
absolutely.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I've got the kind of family and friends that that will let you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you get nothing but good feedback because, like I said, your music is just phenomenal, and I fell in love with it from the moment I listened to it the very first time, and it's just really good stuff. Which, by the way, we're going to play some later on in the interview for the listeners tonight. Now, let's move on and talk about your songwriting style because your album that I've been listening to, like I said, that I absolutely love, really does have a lot of diversity on it. I mean, it's great writing. So, how do you go about writing music?
Well, that it's definitely a process for me, a creative process that I absolutely love. There's no greater high that I get than engaging myself and immersing myself in the process of creating music. It starts with inspiration that really just comes from any place. A variety of sources. My own personal experiences obviously play a lot into my songwriting, but also the experiences of others that I may be, aware of, or a particular situations, or just whatever I may be feeling at the time. And then it just kind of evolves from there. I mean, I typically start with a hook because I'm really, really big on melodies. Because obviously that's what drives the song. So when I'm writing, typically the hook will come first, or the chorus, for those who aren't familiar with the technical terms. That'll come first, and then the rest of the song, or the verses and the bridge, all gets built around it. But for me, like I said, it's just a process that just gives me the greatest pleasure. I think that for me that there is.
Yeah, and your latest project called This Is My Time, I mean, it's got some great stuff on it. Now, the song, I'm going to talk a little bit about the song This Is My Time because when I heard it the first time, I was so inspired. I was like, wow, because
thank you.
I love songs for their beat and their rhythm, but what I really gain most from listening to music is the lyrics of a song because, that is what truly speaks to people more than the melody.
Sure.
And so, as I was listening to the lyrics of the song, I was like, wow, now this song could motivate you to do just about anything you put your mind to. And so talk a little bit about, it really was inspiring. I mean, talk a little bit about what kind of drew you to write a song like that.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it, really, because that song does mean a lot to me. It's very personal to me. It's the title track to my album, This Is My Time, and when I wrote that song, I wanted to write a song that just kind of encapsulated my story. I've been at this for quite a while, and it's not the music business is not a very easy business at all. And I've experienced a lot of the the highs and the lows, and it's just really, really it's tough, and it's you really have to to be strong and to persevere if you're going to be successful. And even then, there are no guarantees, So I've kind of been through a lot on this journey, just in terms of promises that were made and broken, and things that were sure things, so to speak, but then later didn't work out. And it's just been a very, very it's been a long road, And there were those times when when I asked myself, how long am I going to do this? Is this really worth it? Why do I continue, to do this just to get smacked down? But if there's something that you were really meant to do, you have to do it.
Right.
There's just that drive or that voice that just tells you, no matter how many times you get knocked down, to just get up again, because this is what you were supposed to do, and eventually it will happen and it will pay off. And I really, really believe that. I have to believe that, because that's what keeps me getting up in the morning. That's what keeps me going. And I know that my story in that is not unique. I know that there are many people around the world, not just in the music business, but in all walks of life, in all professions and all careers, or just in just day-to-day life, that feel defeated at times and just, are ready to just kind of, okay, well, maybe this just wasn't meant for me. Let me just go, and do something else. But again, I truly believe that if you have a calling, it's what you have to do. Your purpose all of our purposes have already been defined, and we just have to continue forward.
That is so true. I mean, and life is tough. I mean, it is full of difficult challenges, and, we have to, I think it's important, if we're given dreams and those seeds are planted within us, that it's very important to follow them, because that is our calling. But the journey along the way to get from the thought in our head to making it believable and making it real can be very, very difficult. And so, we need those pushes and we need those motivations. And, when I heard this song, it was like, wow, this song could be an anthem for anyone that needs, that drive, that little extra something that gives them that encouragement that they need to keep going. And it really is a let's not give up kind of song,
Yeah, I hope so, because like I said, I know that my story, is not unique. So if there are those that can draw inspiration from that song, and it gives them just that little bit of encouragement to not give up on their dreams, to keep going as I'm trying to do, then, we're all in this together. Let's pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and keep it moving.
That's right. We can't give up.
Nope.
Now, do you have a favorite song on the album that you just enjoy performing the most, or was a pleasure to write? Because I know sometimes songwriting itself can be a bear. You can get, it can flow, and you can get in these stretches where it's difficult. So, do you have a favorite song?
Well, you know what? I love them all, obviously, because, they're my creations. But I think I like different ones for different reasons. Stretch Your Neck is a lot of fun to perform live, because I try to get the audience involved, with the hook, the Stretch Your Neck, and that that always gets a good reaction. We talked a lot about This Is My Time, so obviously that's something that's very, very, deep and meaningful, and personal. I have a song on the album that I actually covered. It's a Michael Bolton song called "That's What Love Is All About." He's actually one of my favorite singer-songwriters. So, because I love the stories that he tells, with his writing. So, I really wanted to cover that. So, so I enjoy that one. I could just go on and on and on.
Right.
Bet You Never is a fun, pop kind of, cruising on it with the top down on a day like today. It's one of those kind of songs. So yeah, I love them all. But there's a different reason for feeling that way about each of them.
Yeah, they would be like children. I have 3 of them myself and a grandchild. So, you can't say, well, I have a favorite. So I think songs, I think when you're a songwriter and you're writing songs, it's hard to say I have a favorite,
it is.
Because they're all like your children, and they, each one has a different meaning for different reasons. So it's hard to pick a favorite, but I must tell you, the album is good. I love the fact that it's one of those that you can pop in and just really unwind to. You can have fun, like you say, on Stretch Your Neck. I love that song, by the way. It's just a great hip-hop dance, get you out of your seat moving kind of song. But the album from start to finish is just enjoyable to listen to. It's not one of those that, you like it for 1 or 2 songs. From the beginning to the end, you just pop it in and it just plays, and it's just enjoyable. And that's
Well,
the kind of album that I like to listen to. You know, when you can, but that is the beauty of indie music and indie artists. I found, you know, being in this business that, you know, if indie artists just pour all that they have into their music, and heart and soul, you know, and I think the final product that the listener gets is so rewarding because the listener really does get a treat. You know, and every song is good. You know, it's not just certain songs that are hits and that kind of thing like you find on mainstream radio. I mean, it's very good stuff. And in truth, I've said many times that mainstream radio is really missing out because, you know, the indie music world is just the music industry. The side of that is, you know, an unintentional best-kept secret, and mainstream radio has no idea what they're missing, you know. And, you know, one of the things that I do think is really unique now that, you know, indie artists and the indie music world has that we didn't have is the wave of social media and the ability to promote your music. And, you know, and cutting a record now is not like it used to be, you know, some few years ago. It's really amazing how, and in your time in the business, what kind of changes have you seen, maybe for the worse, for the better, as an artist?
Well, obviously, you know, social media plays a huge part in the transformation of the music industry because what it's done is level the field, you know, level the playing field, you know, for indie artists and those that have the big machine, you know, behind them, somewhat, not completely, but it provides an alternative for, you know, artists who can't get past the gatekeepers, so to speak, you know, to get their music directly to the people, you know, like yourself, who are interested in hearing it, who want to hear it, you know, who really enjoy it, you know. So, you know, I really, really think that social media deserves a lot of the credit for the transformation in the industry because now the big conglomerates have to conform, you know. It's not just all you know. It's not just you know, all about you know, handing over your blood, sweat, and tears to, you know, to this company, and then they do with it, you know, what they will. I mean, even you know, even established artists. I mean, the story of what Prince did, you know, back in the day is famous, you know. And a lot of artists who were once with the major labels are recognizing now that there is value in going the indie route and utilizing the social media. But it is a double-edged sword, though, because the big machine has the big budgets and they have the big contacts and they have, you know, the access to, you know, to people and to media and different outlets that the indie artists don't. So that's why it's so nice to have people like you who provide a platform for us to not only get our music heard, but for us as artists, you know, to be heard in formats like this, you know, just having a conversation so that the people who are listening to our music can get to know who we are, not only as artists but as people. You know, that's important too because we don't have access to a lot of the mainstream media.
Well, and it's very nice of you to say that. My thing, and you said something I think is so key, and that is that, you know, the big time record labels are now having no choice but to conform to some degree of what's going on in the indie music world because indie artists, you know, it used to be probably maybe not even 10 years ago that the indie was kind of a whole genre of music that went from being a specific genre to now this conglomerate of all different genres under this umbrella, and just awesome music. And you know, and I know major record labels have got to be sitting up and taking notice at how big it has gotten. And because artists are showing over and over again that, you know, it's always nice to have that financial backing, but at the same time, when you're an indie artist and you're putting out your own music, you're not boxed into this category or this genre, and your creativity is not squashed. You know, you're able to be as creative as you want to be, and you're not.
Absolutely.
You know, so there is some advantage to not being on a major record label. Of course, it would be nice to have the money that they provide, but at the same time, I do believe that artists in this realm tend to really put out better music because it's not driven by money, and it's not a machine that manufactures the latest, greatest star out there that society deems is the big person at the moment. I mean, you really are putting all your blood, sweat, and tears, and I think because you take so much pride in what you do.
Right, absolutely.
And it's just a completely different ball game, you know?
Yes. For me, you know, I like to make the kind of music that I like to listen to. You know, and that is so important. And my producers, Rick Zivick and Ted Wender, they get that, and they get me. And what I loved about creating This Is My Time is that they didn't try to box me into a particular style or a particular sound. You know, they really, you know, kind of they gave me the autonomy to be who I am, you know, just in terms of the creative process and the sound, you know, that I was going for, because, you know, I'm influenced by all types of music, you know, you know, pop, R&B, you know, country, dance, you know, you name it, you know, jazz. I draw influences from all types of music because I love music as an art form, you know. So, and I try to make sure that reflects in my songwriting and also in the production of the songs, you know, once they are recorded in the studio, because that's who I am. And, again, it's important for me to make the kind of music that I would like to listen to.
And it is very enjoyable to listen to, by the way.
Thanks.
One of the things that I did notice about your music that I was just like, yes, you know, when I heard it, is there are hints and traces of old school R&B in your music, and I love the fact that you've kind of incorporated that, because, you know, R&B of yesterday has just kind of gotten lost to a lot of the more contemporary, you know, hip hop and rap music, and R&B is kind of the foundation behind how all the other forms evolve. And it's so refreshing to see, you know, there's so many indie artists that are kind of on that, you know, on that train of saying we need to bring R&B back. It needs to have its place back in music. And that's so true. It's so foundational to so many different genres that kind of came after it. And it's kind of gotten lost in the mix. And I hate that, because when you think about all the artists that came out of traditional R&B, they're just phenomenal legends, you know. Right,
absolutely. You know, as a kid, you know, I grew up on a diet of, you know, Motown and Philly International, you know, I mean, because my house was always filled with music, you know, from my parents. So I had those exposures, you know, very, very early on. And then as I began to develop my own style and my own, you know, songwriting, you know, I looked to the writers of those great Motown songs, you know, Smokey Robinson, Holland Dozier Holland, you know, even getting into, you know, the Philly International, Gamble and Huff, you know, those guys that wrote classic R&B songs that still to this day resonate with audiences, you know. And so when it came to me writing the types of songs that I wanted to be reflective of me, of course, I wanted to make sure that I wrote songs that could stand up like those songs do. You know, that was just important to me as a writer.
Yes. And it's, like I said, I just can't say it enough. I mean, I love your music, and I love it for so many different reasons, because it gives you that, you know, it kind of takes you back to that Motown sound and that R&B sound that, you know, I grew up on and kind of cut my teeth on. That's, you know, Motown music in general is probably one of my favorite genres out there, even to this day, because it was born out of Motown. You know, the very Gordy era was, you know, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Marvin Gaye, I mean, the Temptations, I mean, you could just go on and on and on with all the greats. Stevie Wonder, I mean, it just goes on. And so, it's so nice to have that. But then, you know, when I listen to your music, I hear a little bit of a jazz influence, which is another favorite genre of mine. So your music appeals to me on so many different levels musically because of the fact that, you know, there are so many different genres that I do like. But I love how you kind of infused it all together to make it, you know, the sound of Norm Adams. So it's you know, you're set apart. You're not, you know, you don't sound like this artist or that artist. I mean, you've got your own unique sound, but it's great how you've kind of pulled from different pre-era genres, I guess if you will.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Great stuff. Well, now let's talk about, are you working on any new stuff? I mean, have you got a new album in the works, or what's coming down the pipe?
Well, I'm always, you know, recording. I'm always, you know, in the studio. We're working on some new things. Right now, though, the focus is on promoting This Is My Time. We are preparing in a couple of weeks to shoot a video for the song RSVP, Come Back Baby. So, you know, please be on the lookout for that. And, you know, just really trying to build the brand and get the music out there. So, again, I am so grateful, you know, to you, you know, for giving me this opportunity to talk about the project, because it is very, you know, special to me and near and dear to my heart. And I'm so happy that you liked it, and that you you know, and that you're so enthusiastic about it, because that's validation for me, you know. So now when I go back into the studio, I've, you know, got a little extra, you know, pep in my step, and, you know, a little, you know, wind behind my back, so to speak. It's always good to get that validation.
I love, you know, when I come across a great artist like you, I love getting you on my show, just because you're definitely someone that the world needs to hear. I mean, you know, you don't just make this music for your health, is what I say a lot of times about indie artists. I mean, you're out there doing it. You, of course, want to become well-known, and you want to be able to make a little bit of money to recoup, you know, your expense and your investment. But you know, it is all about the heart and soul of the project. Yeah. And I believe in indie music. I believe in indie artists. You know, I believe in artists like you, because I know what it takes to make a record, and how hard you have to fight to get it out there. And, you know, and so our platform here, we do what we can, as much as we can. You know, I wish we were major radio, because then I would be changing, everything would be changing in the music world if I had that kind of power. But you know, it is a great thing, and we love doing what we do. But on that note, when you get your video completed, let me know, because I'd love to get it posted to our website. And
thank you so much. I absolutely will.
Yeah, so visitors can see it, and we'll promote it out as well for you, you know, help get the word out about that. But I have so enjoyed speaking with you, and as you know, continue to produce new music and have new projects coming out, I'd love to have you back anytime to discuss anything that you want to talk about. So,
well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. Although I don't think you need it, I think you're awesome. And we will continue promoting and playing your music here on our show, and just keep us up to date on everything that's happening with you. We'll be happy to get the word out.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And just you know, just as a final word, again, thank you so much for having me on tonight. My album, This Is My Time, is out right now. You know, you can get it on Amazon.com. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all of the digital outlets. So please, you know, to all the listeners, please support it. It would, you know, it means a great deal, you know, to me. And thank you again so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so very welcome. And have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be in touch with you real soon. Take care, Norm.
Sounds great. Take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye. Oh, what a nice man. I really enjoyed speaking with him. He is going to be huge. I mean, his music is great. He's got his album, This Is My Time, is just one of the best I've heard in a long while. And, you know, you just heard everywhere that you can pick it up. If you want to follow him on Twitter, you can follow him at Norm Adams Music. But also check out his website. It's normadamsmusic.com. And he, you know, like I said, he's on Twitter, he's on Facebook, MySpace, he's got videos on YouTube. I mean, he's really up and coming. He's doing some great things, and this album is just phenomenal. So check him out, and if you like his music, please support him and buy it, because these indie artists are out there, really working hard to get their music out, but a lot of it is self-funded. They do not have major record labels funding them, so, every little bit helps, and your support is greatly appreciated. And before we wrap tonight, I want to play one of the cuts off of his album. Again, the album is titled This Is My Time. And I don't know, it's hard for me to have a personal favorite, but I actually like the song just because it's so upbeat. And I think you mentioned it during the interview. On a day like today, when it's been beautiful and sunny and spring-like outside, this is a song that I think is perfect, to ride around in a convertible, roll the windows down, just go down the road and jam out. And I love this song. This is called Stretch Your Neck. Enjoy.
I'm looking for a beauty queen, someone that's stepped out of a magazine, the hottest thing that I've ever seen, yeah. The club is jumping to my favorite song, so I got to get my party on, and pop the bottles all night long, yeah. I know you want it, want it, 'cause you were born it, born it, 'cause I can see you checking me tonight. Rockin' it, you watchin' it, you stretchin' that. And when I'm poppin' it, I'm lockin' it, you stretchin' that. Because tonight there ain't no stoppin' it, you stretchin' that. Go on, just go on, stretchin' that. I see you dippin' it and flippin' it and stretchin' that. I see you willow whippin' it and stretchin' that. And now I know I got you trippin' when you're stretchin' that. Go on, just go on, stretchin' that. Stretchin' that. So now you want me to get at your back. What makes you think that you can handle that? Is it the music aphrodisiac? Yeah. 'Cause when you dip it down real low and make it back up real slow, you got me started now, here we go. Yeah. You're gonna get it, you get it. I know you with it, we're with it. Can't you see it's you and me tonight? 'Cause when I'm rocking it, you're watching it, you're stretching that. And when I'm popping it and locking it, you're stretching that. Because tonight there ain't no stopping it, you're stretching that. Go on, just go on, stretching that. I see you dipping it and flipping it and stretching that. I see you willow whipping it and stretching that. And now I know I got you tripping when you're stretching that. Go on, just go on, stretching that. Stretching that. Tonight it's all about you, being all about me, being all about what's coming out, all about me. 'Cause I've been needing some affection to handle this direction, and I'm lifting your direction tonight, you see. You're gonna get it, get it. I know you with it, you're with it. Can't you see it's you and me tonight? So when I'm rocking it, you're watching it. And when I'm popping it and locking it, you're stretching that. Because tonight there ain't no stopping it. Go on, just go on, stretching that. I see you dipping it and flipping it. I see you willow whipping it, you're stretching that. And now I know I got you tripping when you go on, just go on, stretching that. Stretching that, go on, just go on, stretching that. Stretching that, go on, just go on, stretching that. I see you dipping it and flipping it, stretching that. I see you willow whipping it, stretching that. And now I know I got you tripping when you're stretching that. Go on, just go on, stretching that. 'Cause when I'm rocking it, you're watching it, you're stretching that. And when I'm popping it and locking it, you're stretching that. Because tonight there ain't no stopping it, you're stretching that. Go on, just go on, 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 stretching that. There were days when I would wish that I could turn the hands of time, that I could press rewind to find the dreams I left behind. And there were nights when I would lie awake and think how it would be if people ever got to see the secret part of me. Well, I know to everything there is a season, and just as life can start anew, my time. This time was meant for me. There were times when I would tell myself it wasn't meant to be. I guess it wasn't meant for me, that it was just a fantasy. Then there were moments when a voice inside would tell me, try again, that this was not the end, and one day I was gonna win. And so I walked along the path that lay before me, and keep the faith and just believe that I will achieve. This is my time, time to be who I was born to be. This is my time, my moment in all eternity, and everything I ever wanted will be mine, 'cause I believe this is my time. This time was meant for me. What would you do? Where would you go? Who would you leave? If you were given the right opportunity, would you leave? Would you stay? Would you sing? Would you stay? This is my time. 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 This is my time was meant for me. This is my time. This is my time. This is my body. This is my time. Everything this is my time. This time was meant for me.
Ah, what a beautiful song. That was also another song off of his album, This Is My Time. That was the title track, and that was Norm Adams. And we want to thank him for being our special guest tonight on our show. He was so much fun to speak with, and such a nice fella. And look forward to everything he has coming up, and we will certainly have him back as new projects emerge. Now, moving ahead, tomorrow night, let's see, who do we have coming tomorrow night? We have pop artist Mila Smith coming. She will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, the interesting thing to note about Mila is that she is a CPA, and she was a CPA first before she ever became an artist, but actually was doing the CPA thing for a while, along with, singing, performing, writing songs, producing albums, releasing albums, and finally just one day decided to give up her day job and pursue music full time. And she now has a brand new album out called Drugs. We've been playing a song off of that album for the last couple of weeks called Closer. It's a great song. And so she will be here tomorrow night. We'll be speaking with her about, her music and her career and what's coming up. And that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then coming up on Thursday night, we have a band called Japan Soul. And no, they are not from Japan. They are American. And but they've got some great music. Their music, we've been playing it here on our show as well on Saturday nights on our Indie Artist Showcase. And I love their music because it has kind of a retro 80s kind of sound to it, and they've got a new single out called Transparent that I think is it is so cool. because every time I hear their music, I'm kind of taken back to that era. That was kind of the era when I grew up, was in high school, and music was just at its best. I felt like in all genres, and so it's so cool to see a band today kind of giving us that sound from yesterday. So we'll be speaking with them. They're going to be here Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, so you'll want to tune in for that. And then coming on Friday night, we have Miss Shauna Byrne, and she will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern. And she is a female vocalist. She's a beautiful pianist, and she's released a couple of albums. And she has kind of a Celtic kind of evanescence kind of sound infused together. Her lyrics are just beautifully eerie, I guess is the best way to put it. They're very deep and just awesome. So we will be speaking with her at 7 p.m. on Friday night. So that is going to pretty much round out our week. And then, of course, we'll be back on Saturday night with our Indie Artist Showcase at 7 p.m. Eastern. So in any event, we've got some great guests coming up over the next couple of nights. And before I wrap, I want to take a moment to share some exciting news with everyone. As you know, we have two shows currently, one being this show, Jammin Jukebox. Our other show that we do is called Behind the Mic, and we interview a lot of celebrities and different type guests of interest, on that show. And whereas here it's all indie artists, indie music, that sort of thing. We are premiering another show to our family of shows on Thursday night, and this show is going to be called Life Beats Radio. This is going to be a faith-based, Christian-oriented show. We hope that it will be inspiring and motivating. We strive for it to be positive. We'll be showcasing, ordinary people doing extraordinary things to make a difference in the world. We will have, Christian authors, artists. We'll be doing a Christian indie music show on Friday night at 7 p.m. That's called The Beat. And we'll be doing, some devotional shows, some Bible study shows. I mean, it's going to be all Christian-oriented, and, and we're real excited about it because we're going to be able to do so many exciting things on that show that we can't or don't currently do on our two shows we have now. We have some phenomenal guests from the Christian world that we are bringing to you right out of the gate. And I'm so very excited. We actually are going to have a comedian that we will be doing a pre-taped interview with on Thursday, but it will air here on Friday night on the Life Beats radio show. Shonda Pierce, who is well-known in the Christian world. She is one of the funniest comedians out there, and she's a female comedian, and she is known all over the world for her talent. She's been at this for the last decade. She has Southern wit and humor, and somebody I can certainly identify with. And she's as Southern sounding as I am. I absolutely love her comedic style, and she's hilarious. And, so if you like clean comedy, just dry wit, dry humor, you will love Shonda Pierce. We are going to be broadcasting that interview with her at 8 p.m. Eastern on our Life Beats radio show on Friday evening. So we'll be tweeting out about that. And to follow our new show, we do have a Twitter account now. It's Life Beats Radio. You can also check out our website at lifebeatsradio.com. And we certainly hope that you will follow our show here on Blog Talk and follow us on Twitter to stay up on all the guests that we have coming. It's going to be a great show. We're going to be kind of combining the best of both worlds from our two existing shows and adding them to the mix there, plus bringing a lot of other great things to you. So we're very excited about this new endeavor. And with that, I will quit talking and wrap and call it a night. And so thank you to all the listeners out there for being with us tonight. If you're brand new to our program, welcome aboard, and we certainly hope that you will be back again. And we'll be right back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern with Mila Smith. Have a great night, all. Take care, and good night.
Thanks for listening. listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's show has been brought to you by One Taste of Main Street Cake Shop, baked from scratch, custom-made cakes and cupcakes, and you'll be hooked. Every cake is made to order with only the finest and freshest ingredients. This is no ordinary bakery. Cakes are never pre-made. Main Street Cake Shop is in demand, having provided cakes and cupcakes for numerous prestigious events, bridal fairs, and venues. Owned and operated by April Murray, she has garnered many awards for not only her exquisite cake designs, but also for their incredible taste. If you're looking for a cake for any occasion, or cupcakes in a variety of flavors, then Main Street Cake Shop is the place. Visit them on the web at mainstreetcakeshop.com.